got
Doing
behind you
fine.
there. Just doing some axe throwing in your spare time?
And let me look up the oath unless you do it line by line, in which case I will remember. But if you ask me to remember the whole thing, other than Constitution of the United States, preserve, protect, and defend, yada yada yada, I'm out of luck.
I'll just do it. I'll just do it little yeah, I can do it repeatable way. That's no problem.
Thank you.
Okay. For Brisa, I'll do the whole thing and let you read it. Is that okay? Afterwards, will that work?
Okay, Christy, we are streaming. We're still in the practice session. So,
Okay.
45 seconds or whenever it says 20
Okay.
or noon, I can hit start and then we're good to go.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, Christy, I have the oath in front of me, so
Okay.
whichever way you want to run it.
Okay, sounds good. I like just being in the practice session. I like when it says you're just in a practice session. The pressure is off up there.
Okay, we are good to go.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I'd like to call to order the July 1st, 2025 Forest Grove School District Board of Directors meeting at 12 o'clock p.m. We'll start with a roll call of board members present. Alma,
Present.
Brisa,
Here.
Pete,
Here.
and Kate is trying to get on but currently not here, and Christy Cockey is here. If we can rise for the flag salute. Yes. And imagine a flag. This is always a little bit awkward. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it
Which
stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with liberty
liberty and
and
justice
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Thank you. All right, we're going to start first with our oath of office to swear in our 3 new school board directors. I am going to start with Brisa Franco. She is joining us in position 1, and I'm going to read the oath and then ask Brisa to repeat that after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon and the policies of the Forest Grove School District. During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibilities of the oath of the office of board member to the best of my ability. Wow.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon and the policies of the Forest Grove School District. During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibilities of the office of board member to the best of my ability.
All right. And Peter Truax, position 2. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon and the policies of the Forest Grove School District. During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibilities of the office of board member to the best of my ability.
I, Peter Truax, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon, and the policies of the Forest Grove School District. During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibilities of the office of board member to the best of my ability.
All right, and finally for position 3, we have Alma Lozano. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon and the policies of the Forest Grove School District. During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibilities of the office of board member to the best of my ability.
I, Alma Lozano, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon and the policies of the Forest Grove School District. During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibilities of the office of board member to the best of my abilities.
All right, congratulations. I think that makes it official for everybody. Really want to welcome the 3 of you again publicly and officially, and just thank you for being willing to serve on this board, which is essentially a volunteer position. And it's wonderful to have new representation and people that are just really excited to serve. And all 3 of you bring something different strengths and vision for our board. So very thankful for that. Is there anybody that would like to say any words? Just want to give that opportunity. All right. All right. So we're going to move to approval of today's agenda. We are adding an amendment. We do need an amendment for this particular agenda today. We need to add an action item to approve the CBAP contract, and Dr. Shear will be telling us about that when that action item comes up. But I would look for a motion from someone now that we are all official board members to amend today's agenda to add an action item.
This is Director Truax, so moved.
And I'm looking for a second.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded by Director Lozano to add an amendment for the CBAP contract to today's agenda. And then I believe we are going to, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve amended agenda. Is that correct? I think so. Yes. So I'm looking for a motion now to approve today's amended agenda.
Did we vote on the other motion?
Oh, we did not. Gosh, Mayor. Okay, former mayor. Well, oh my God, I'm starting off strong. Okay. Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion about the amendment? Seeing none, I'll call for, we'll do a roll call vote. Brisa.
Sorry, you cut out.
Oh, sorry. We'll ask for a roll call vote on this one. So you can say yay, we're approving the agenda, or nay. Brisa.
Yay.
Okay, Alma,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes.
and I am a yes. All right, now I'm looking for a motion to approve today's amended agenda.
I, Brisa Franco, am moving a motion to, I'm sorry for what you said.
No, that's fine.
A motion to,
Is there a second?
I second.
All right. Any discussion? And this one we'll just do an all in favor, say aye.
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 Seeing none opposed, motion passes. We are going to move to action item number 1, which is to elect board chair for the 2025-26 school year. At this time, I'd like to invite nominations for board chair for the upcoming term, July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
Madam Chair, this is Director Truax. I nominate Christy Kotke for the position of board chair.
I second that.
All right. Any discussion? There's Kate. Hi, Kate. Kate, we're just in the middle of, we just had a motion and a second for a chair for school board for next year.
Okay.
And we're in the discussion phase. Do you have any thoughts?
No, I highly recommend you.
I will say that in the history of this board, we've been really good about sharing the roles and switching the roles. I think in this particular year, as you can see from this very meeting, I still have a lot of learning to do as chair, but I think we are able to just continue to have some continuity, and I'm happy to stay in the role for one more year. So I appreciate your nomination and your trust. And with that, I think we'll take a roll call vote on this one. And we'll start with Brisa. Brisa,
Yay.
Alma,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes.
and Kate.
Yes.
And I'm a yes, and I accept and thank you. So we will move to elect board vice chair for the 2025-26 school year. At this time, I would like to invite nominations for vice chair for the upcoming term, July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
I'd like to nominate Alma.
I second.
Okay, there's a nomination and a second. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, I will call for a roll call vote. Brisa,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
I am a yes, and Alma.
Yes, I accept.
Wonderful. Okay, very exciting. Thank you for being willing to step into that position as well, and thank you to the rest of the team. And now we are going to move to action item number 3 with Director Clute, Fernhill Elementary School Pre-K Play Structure Procurement. Welcome, Director Clute.
Good morning. So as part of our board policies, it requires us to get board approval for any procurements over 50,000. This first one we have today is the Fernhill Elementary School Pre-K Play Structure. This one is using the KCDA Cooperative Purchasing Agreement with Northwest Playground, and it's for $59,521.14.
Any questions from the board? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion to award the purchase agreement of $59,521.14 to KCDA and Northwest Playground for the Fernhill Elementary School Pre-K Playground?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Director Truax, second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll do all call vote. All in favor say aye.
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 And opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. Thank you. And we're going to move to Director Pignon, technology manager, I say director, classroom video equipment purchase.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you. The action item before you today is a continuation of our classroom update projects, classroom AV update projects. It's part of the bond. The school board had already previously approved the purchase of all of the AV equipment for the different classrooms. The contractor having surveyed what can be accomplished the rest of the summer and additional classrooms that we'll be adding, we're going to be amending that PO to purchase the remainder of the equipment that will be needed to complete the project this summer. So the vendor with the lowest cost from the previous approval was Data Center Warehouse. So we'll be purchasing the remainder of the Epson interactive short throw projectors and all the accessories. So the recommendation to the board is to approve the purchase of the classroom video equipment upgrade from Data Center Warehouse utilizing bond funds for a total cost of $169,500.
All right. Any questions on that one? Do I have a motion to approve the purchase of the classroom video equipment upgrade from Data Center Warehouse utilizing bond funds for a total cost of $169,500?
Director Truax, so moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Correct.
Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion passes, and now we're going to move to our amended action item number 5, CBAP contract, Director Shear, Student Services.
Hi, thank you so much for amending the agenda for me. As a part of our extended school year services for students with disabilities, we annually contract with the community-based activities program, which is a not-for-profit in Forest Grove. They provide some of our extended school year services to students. We have about 55 students that attend every summer. This is over $50,000. The contract is for $192,500. The program runs from June 24th through August 1st, 2025. And you see that the contract, I believe, should be attached to your materials. And we're recommending to approve the contract as presented.
Any questions on that one? Kim, could you just give a tiny history of the CBAP program, like that it's been, I think probably people on this screen are familiar, but just in case, could you talk just a little bit about that partnership?
Yeah, the partnership's been going for as long as I've been here, which is I'm going into my 18th year, so much longer than that. I probably wouldn't do it very good justice because I don't know a history beyond that, but we've partnered annually with them to provide services for some of our ESY programs. And they provide, I don't know if you are familiar, but they provide a lot of community activities and do a lot of fun field trips and social activities. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, do I have a motion to approve the CBAP contract as presented for $192,500?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you, everybody, on those. We're going to move to consent agenda. The consent agenda is made up of routine, non-controversial items to be voted on under one motion. Are there any items within the consent items a board member or the superintendent wishes to discuss separately? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? And all in favor say
Well,
aye.
would
Oh,
you-
sorry.
Yeah, I would just like for the record to indicate that I am a friend of one of the partners in Polly Rogers. Know him very well, have worked with him for a number of years. So just want to make sure that that's on the record, that full disclosure. There
Okay.
is no conflict of interest there.
Okay, that was consent item number 12. Thank you. But just by habit, I am calling you mayor, so I'll have to figure that out later.
They laughingly call that an honorific once in a while, and it's perfectly appropriate. It's either way, just as
All
long
right.
as you use mayor instead of other epithets.
All right. All right. So we had a question discussion there. We've had a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right, we are going to move on to discussion and I have not been a part of this process before, where we do assign members of standing committees. We have 4 committees, and Kate, I might have you talk just a tiny bit about, again, policy. We talked a little about this in orientation, but how long you've been on policy and if you've served on other committees. But we have policy committee. We're looking for 2 people for each committee: bond oversight, financial oversight, which is essentially budget focus, and recreation committee. The recreation committee, Brad Bafaro has been our liaison to that, and he is currently chair, and his chair reign ends somewhere in this next calendar year. I don't have the exact date. So he asked at our last school board if this board would have consensus to allow him to continue to serve in that role. I fully support that. But when his term is over as chair of that committee, then there will be a space as well for a person to represent on Parks and Rec for the city. That interest we can talk about today as well, but so I'm looking for a couple different things. But first, I'm going to let Kate talk just a little bit about existing committees and your willingness to serve again, which ones you might be interested in. Nobody's locked in today, and then we'll go to Brisa and Alma and Pete and just kind of gauge where everybody is and make sure we can ask questions about what those committees entail if we need to. So Kate, if you don't mind, I'll turn it over to you for a few minutes.
Okay, thank you. So I have been on probably every committee, but the ones that I've been on the longest is the policy committee since 2011, and it's reviewing the policies after they're recommended by OSBA, the Oregon School Board Association, and then the staff, the directors in the district office review the policies, and then 2 board members review that with our secretary, Bethany, and also our superintendent. And then it comes up before the board. Basically, we're just looking And sometimes we have our lawyers also look at some of the policies. And then it comes up in the packet for the board, and the board can review it. And then we have a first hearing. And then the second time is when we approve the policies. And most of the policies, not all of them, but the majority of the policies are just small little pieces that have to be corrected or updated depending on what the legislators say, and recommendations also from the lawyers from OSBA. The bond committee, well, and I would like to stay on the policy committee. I've been doing that for a long time, unless someone wants to arm wrestle me and not have me do it. The bond committee meets, I believe it's 4 times a year, and we're reviewing the monies and the projects and the input from the teams, Eileen Klude and the architects and firms that have been, for example, like at Cornelius, we've reviewed what's happening there, but also reviewing the time schedule and what's happening on all the campuses. I believe Eileen a while ago went and did a review of all the needs at the schools. And so the needs have been prioritized to be completed, some now, some next year, depending on the schedule and contractors and availability of materials. We had a little bit of a problem with availability of materials during COVID. The recreation, Brad has done that for quite a while, and I've never done that one. The other one is, what was the other one that you mentioned?
The budget, the financial oversight.
Yeah, that's a good one for new people to do, because you get to really understand the different categories. And Eileen is very good at explaining. And I've been on that committee with Brad and with Mark both. And a number of years ago, we updated how we were presenting the budget to new budget committee members, and Eileen did a great job on that. But it's reviewing the numbers and the recommendations and considerations that Eileen's doing. So that's a good committee to really understand, especially for new people, because that's one of our big, we hire the superintendent, we evaluate the superintendent, but we also approve the budget. And that's a good one if people have time to do that one.
Dr. West, do you want to add anything about those different committees?
Yeah, just briefly, the different committees that were mentioned do have an endpoint where we bring that information into the boardroom. So for example, we bring policies to the board for action after they run through the policy committee. We have the financial oversight committee, but we have quarterly financial reports in the boardroom. And I'm bringing that up because there are different ways for the school board to have oversight, which is one of your jobs of the work of the superintendent. And these committees are one way to get a little deeper look into the work of the district and the efforts that we're moving forward. So it's an important process for us to be able to have that oversight. Like I said, it does eventually come into the boardroom, but if you have areas of interest related to each of these areas where you feel like either you have some expertise or you just want to learn more, joining one of these committees is a good opportunity to lend your expertise or to grow your learning in those areas. I think that's all that I can contribute right now, Chair Kaki.
Thank you. Are there questions for either Kate or Dr. West about those committees before we kind of talk about our interest? Okay. So Brisa, I'll start with, Alma, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, are these like yearly commitments? Is there like a end date for these? How do these work? Is it per term?
It depends on, well, are you talking about how frequently we meet or the appointment?
The appointment.
I think we need to defer to Chair Kotke and Director Grandusky in terms of what past practice has been, whether these committees change out every year or they change out when we have new board members.
Well, and I might defer then to maybe Director Clute for the financial oversight. Like what, I don't know past practice. I know so I don't know the answer to that. I imagine we talk about it every year at this meeting, but like I said, heading into year 3 and I'm just now kind of learning that we had these sort of official committees that I didn't realize. So yeah, Eileen, do you want to talk a little bit about your thoughts?
Yeah, I can talk specifically about the bond and the financial oversight one. The bond committee is a requirement for the sale of our bond, and so we have to meet 4 times a year. And that committee can change over. We have had since the start of the bond, it's been the same 2 board members that have served on that committee. But we can rotate that out each year or continue the service. And then as far as the financial oversight committee one, that one is a requirement of our audit to be able to bring the board more involved into our financial history and our background and things that are going on internally. So we dive deeper into the financial audit results. We dive deeper into the budget. We do look at some of the financial policies. And so we have kind of a quarterly agenda that we talk through that. Depending on the year, we've met between 2 and 4 times a year, depending on the needs. But that one again can change every year on who serves on that committee.
And I think because we are a board of 5, typically each policy committee is 2 or less because we can't have 3. But if there were interest by more than 2 members for a certain committee, I think we could probably work out ways to share that responsibility so that everybody gets a chance. And I think with the parks, I don't know the answer to what the parks commitment is. I believe Brad meets. I don't know if Brad goes to every parks meeting with the Parks and Recs Commission. I don't know. Pete, you might know that, or Dr. West might know what that commitment looks like.
He is acting as the chair right now, so that's a
Yeah.
level of commitment that's a little bit different than
Well, that's true.
than just being a member of the committee.
Yeah.
I believe they're meeting at least once a month right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe that's true. What we have done in the past is people have just volunteered for committees. There hasn't been a term, and when people feel like their life is getting too busy or they want to rotate out, they just let the chair know, and we just put it up to the other board members to see if they would take a turn, and that's how we've done it in the past.
Okay. Okay, so let's take a minute and hear from everybody what your thoughts are right now, and then we'll see where we are. And we'll start with Brisa.
Yeah, I think I'm drawn towards the policy committee. It sounds interesting. I like reading the different changes and the different policies that are going on. That's kind of where my mind originally went to. But I'm also open to the budget committee. So those are kind of the 2 that I'm thinking about.
Okay. Alma?
Yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards the bond and the rec.
Okay. And Pete? You're on mute.
I know. Now I'm not, you lucky people. Policy was my first choice, but I see that that's pretty well crowded, so I'll back out of that. I would like to do financial oversight. I know that's bad news for Director Clute, but such is life. And I would move towards bond oversight, at least for the first year or so. I would like to see this become an annual discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important that board members have an opportunity to move from committee to committee, especially when there are only 4. I would think that we would be able to make those kinds of adjustments so we'd have a better overall view of the school district and the needs thereof.
I appreciate that suggestion. And I think when I think about it, the reason I maybe wasn't aware of this process was partially because I don't remember having an official conversation about who's serving where, but also because we had dedicated board members. I think Val was bond oversight now that Kate, you and Mark were on policy, and
Yeah.
Mark and Brad were always budget. So those they were kind of filled. So I do like the idea of coming back to each year and seeing if we can share and build capacity for understanding. So, okay. So, and then Kate, besides policy, did you say one other that you were interested in, or?
Yeah, I would like to stay on the budget and the bond committee because I've been on there and do it just one more year. And then, yeah, not doing it again.
Okay. Okay, so help me out. I think what I'm hearing is maybe for policy this year, we might have consensus on Kate and Brisa. Am I hearing that correct? And then for the bond oversight, Alma and I already can't remember what the mayor wanted financial. Did you say also bond, Mayor? I don't think so. Oh, Bethany's going to come in with organization thoughts.
So we had Alma and Pete for the bond.
Okay.
And then I heard for financial oversight, Pete and Kate.
No,
No?
no, it was the policy and the bond for Kate.
I think financial oversight, Alma, was that another area of interest?
I mean, it is something that I would, yeah, would be good with as well.
Okay. And also Alma potentially parks when that opens up is what I was hearing.
Correct.
So we have bond, we have policy, someone potentially for rec, and financial oversight. The one I was going to fill in with whoever, if we needed a space, I would be interested in financial oversight just because I have so much still to learn about the budget, but I think I would rather have those spaces be filled with who's currently interested, and then I can still ask my questions to Eileen separately. Does that sound reasonable? Or Alma, are you feeling like that? Would you like to serve on the financial oversight? I don't want you to feel like you're feeling like you.
Oh, yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
I would love to learn as well. So yes.
Okay. Okay. I think, Bethany, can you say it one more time for the people in the back?
I want to make sure I'm capturing
No.
this correctly.
Okay.
So we have policy committee, Kate and Brisa. Bond oversight committee, Kate and Pete. Is that right?
I think
Or is it Kate and Alma?
I think it's Alma and Pete, right?
No,
No. Alma and Kate.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay. We have financial oversight committee, Pete and Alma. And then recreation committee, we have Brad and then Alma when that opens up.
Okay. We feel
Okay.
like thumbs up if that sounds like consensus-ish to everybody. I'm seeing nodding.
Yep.
Okay, there's a thumb. Okay, okay. I think we've done it. That's it. Is that it? Okay, so before we adjourn, next steps just for this board, Dr. West, can I throw it to you for what to expect for communication? Because now we're kind of headed into a little bit of downtime in the summer, but we are headed towards retreat next.
Yeah, thank you for that. In terms of communication during the month of July, there will be things that crop up that the board needs to know about. And you will either receive an email from me regarding those, or I may call you directly, depending on what the topic is. But July is pretty quiet other than emergent issues. We will reconvene in August for a board retreat, as Chair Kotke mentioned. That will be a lengthy meeting. It is a public meeting, but the purpose of that meeting is for us to do a few things that are annual activities, such as board and superintendent working agreements, board goals. It's also an opportunity for us as a new leadership team to get to know each other a little bit and figure out how we're going to work together. So I look forward to that. We do have a plan for that and we'll be well prepared for the conversation ahead. We will bring some lunch in for us during that meeting. It will be a working lunch because we're going to start in the morning and run into the afternoon. And then we pick up our regular cadence of board meetings, which are twice per month typically. There are a few exceptions to that. The exceptions include the month of December when we have a long break during the school month. There are exceptions for special sessions when something important comes up. We may call a special session of the school board. So look for those. We will give you plenty of notice when those special sessions happen. Final thought about communication. We do have a couple of regular communication points that go out to the board. Every couple of weeks, we send a message to the board around what's happening in the district to keep you up to date. We'll also send out with that opportunities for you to be at school events if you're interested in that. And then every week we're meeting with board leadership, and during that meeting, notes will follow shortly thereafter. We take notes and then we send it out so that everyone on the board is apprised of what the conversation contained. What would you like to add, Chair Kaki?
I'll add that the retreat is going to be at the community auditorium, which is where we hold the city council holds meetings. So that's a little bit different. And also, I believe that you are or will be each receiving individually some communication from Christy Perry prior to the retreat, where she's going to send you working agreements and goals and have you. We talked a little bit about this in orientation. I don't know if that's come to you yet, but look for that email. And she's looking for individual feedback from each of you between now and the retreat so she can kind of synthesize information. And we also have, just a reminder, the market sign up. At least I don't know if we were able to connect with Cornelius Market yet, but I do know I saw Bree's name was on one of the signups for the summer. If another board member wants to help out at those and if that's the one you can go to, but that's not the name on the list, I would encourage you to show up for part and say hello. I know there might be, oh, what if there's 3 board members at the booth? I doubt that will happen, but if we're there just sharing information, that's perfectly fine as well. And also, if it comes to that day and you were on the sign up and you just can't swing it, just give me a text. And we can find someone else to fill in. So no, things change and summer gets a little crazy sometimes for people. So that is going to be a great opportunity for us to reach out to the community. I'm trying to think of anything else. Alma, because you're vice chair, we will probably have a couple conversations prior to the retreat separately, and I'll reach out. But again, just text with any questions or email. And I don't know. I think that is it. Questions from people about that? Bethany, do you want to add anything? No questions?
I don't think so. Just if you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to me.
Okay.
That'd be great. You have my contact information.
Okay.
Welcome.
I think that's everything for today. If there is no further business, we are going to adjourn at 12:36 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great day.